Pokémon Scarlet and Violet are the latest mainline Pokémon games and the first two announced for Gen 9. It's exciting, and there's extremely little that we know about the new games, but there is a lot we hope to see. That's why we compiled together 9 things we want to see in Pokémon Scarlet and Violet. Some are pretty plausible, while others might be a bit out there. But a fan can dream, right? So like the vid, sub to the channel for updates as they come in. We would love to see a lot of Gen 1 throwbacks or references. The new region is supposedly inspired by Spain, a country that's far away from real-life Kanto, Japan, but we'd like to see Pokemon embrace its OG roots a bit. The franchise has evolved significantly since the old days, maybe giving us a retro radio to listen to some old Gen 1 tunes, or having other references to Pokemon Trainer Red would be cool. A bunch of the older games actually let you battle Red, and I would love to see that again in Gen 9. We've got plenty of endgame guides already for Pokemon Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl, and Legends Arceus on our channel, and both games have a consistent thread in common with their endgames. They're very linear objectives that can be summed up basically by catching all the legendaries, and by extension, completing your Pokedex. I don't expect this to change in Gen 9, but I'd like it to, because it would be cool to see an endgame that has a much greater variety of activities, whether it be solo or through online connectivity. My favorite, which might be unpopular actually, it's Gen 3's contests. I would love to see those return, although I know it's unlikely. I know certain activities that you could play in the endgame like those contests do appear again in later versions, but I'm telling you right now, Gen 3 was the best. Also, Gold, Silver, Crystal are the only Pokemon games that stashed an entire extra region in the endgame. It's tough to reasonably expect something like that again, especially in how today's games are marketed, right? Because if we ever got to see multiple regions in a new Pokemon game, it would most likely be because of paid post-launch DLC. That being said, a guy can still dream, and in the perfect world, I would love to see a second region being Kalos. After all, Kalos is loosely inspired by France, which neighbors Spain, so potentially in the Pokemon games, the two regions would be neighbors as well. Now, I know this probably isn't gonna happen. You can save the comments for this part and you'll just have to excuse me because I'm gonna go down a rabbit hole of copium. This is one element we can almost be certain will return. It is something I at least hope returns, as the lack of PvP in Legends Arceus was upsetting. Even if it made sense from a story perspective, PvP keeps the mainline Pokemon games alive once you've beaten the main campaign and potentially complete your Pokedex. There's something obsessively fun about stockpiling powerful mons, min-maxing their stats, and coordinating battle moves for a strategic team. Even just having trainer and gym battles returning will be a delight. I'm definitely hoping to battle some of my friends when Scarlet and Violet comes out. I'm not a competitive battle expert, but our former GameSpot Pokemon experts Jake Decker and Callie Plaguey teamed up for some awesome, high-level competitive battling videos on our channel that you should absolutely check out. You might learn something new. Alright, call me Old Man Dave here, but the newer takes on gym battles such as Sun and Moon's Island Trials aren't my fancy, but maybe Scarlet and Violet can appease my desire for the older classic Pokemon style with some twists. Cause I appreciate a developer's desire for change and wanting to inject some flair and novelty into a pretty admittedly rote system, but I've been playing the mainline games for so long that I've grown fond of that kind of basic structure. If anything, I'd rather see gym leaders with a wider variety of battle strategies than crutching on a single predictable type. For example, instead of having a rock, water, or fighting gym leader, or any of the other 18 types that are out there, we could have one with a variety of types, but specializing in a team that uses a strategy like Trick Room or Baton Pass. In Gen 8, the Dragon Gym leader Raihan is a superb example here. He only really uses 2 Dragon-type Pokemon, with half of his team being non-Dragon types, but he uses them to control the weather as a strategy. His gym is also similar to a set of leaders in Ruby and Sapphire where their gym battle was based around psychic double battles. These kinds of variety packaged in the traditional gym battle would be an awesome trait that Gen 9 could use. Oh man, if you've never played Ruby or Sapphire, you missed out. Secret bases were an incredibly fun cosmetic gimmick that you could do on the side, and it was easily one of my favorites. There are modern versions of sharing spaces with friends, yeah, whether it be the Union Room or the Grand Underground. However, secret bases were better in my opinion. The number of dolls and cushions and trampolines and fun structures you could create was an excellent pastime, And customizing your space was cool as ever. Gen 3 secret bases were so sick because they allowed you to essentially create your own kind of gym. Sharing your info with your friends would hide your secret base in their world, and if your friends found your base and managed to make their way through whatever you used to decorate it, they could find an NPC with your party of Pokemon, and then they could challenge you, earning money and experience if they managed to win. It was so cool. Legends Arceus turned Pokemon into somewhat of an open game. From a PvE point of view, it was incredible. The gameplay loop was strong and had a lot of fun exploration and mystery. Having this kind of feedback and letting you catch wild Pokemon seamlessly, either right off the bat with berries as bait, or through battling, is something that I would love to see. Taking the open world a step further though, and letting players explore or discover different parts of the region at their own discretion would be a radical step for Pokemon. This is extremely unlikely since a huge part of the core loop in the main storylines is unlocking HM, certain moves, or some kind of a variant like the Noble Pokemon in Legends Arceus with the purpose of granting you access to the later areas in the main game. We saw the possibility of unrestricted exploration with the beginning steps in a Pokemon game like Legends Arceus. It would be awesome to see Gen 9 build from this first step and run with it. Alright, not to sound toxic, but we can all agree that with Sword and Shield and onward, the graphics for Pokemon have been questionable. Part of me wants to blame the Switch hardware, and there's a lot of frustration with Nintendo's awful online infrastructure compared to something like Xbox Live or PS Plus. However, poor optimization is definitely on Game Freak. It would be nice to get a Pokemon game that doesn't look like it belongs on a GameCube. I mean, I've been able to look past this with Legends Arceus because the novelty of that game was just so strong, but I'm not sure if I could do it again. With Sword and Shield and Legends Arceus, there have been many cutscenes and story beats, and right now it feels a little odd with having these cutscenes or dialogue sequences, but without any voice acting. Personally, if we're gonna go the cutscene route, it would be nice to get full-on voice actors in Gen 9. If nothing else, maybe it's worth going the hybrid approach like Fire Emblem or Breath of the Wild, where not every line is spoken aloud. Instead, some sounds or expressions are conveyed to help make less important scenes feel more alive, while full-on voiceover can be exclusively saved for important narrative moments. Plus, it would help make the game more accessible for folks who struggle with reading subtitles. I do appreciate, however, Legends Arceus giving us Akari, my absolute favorite. Later generations have added to the national dex by giving older Pokemon new evolutions or baby forms. For example, in Gen 2, we got numerous new baby Pokemon like Elekid, Togepi, Magby, and more. We also got new final evolutions like Slowking, Politoed, or Steelix. There have been some gimmicks like Mega Evolutions, Dynamax, Gigantamax, and region-specific forms such as the Alolan, Sandslash, or Ninetales. These changes are fun for a time, but I personally prefer having permanent evolutions for Pokemon, and I would love to see older Pokemon get these evolutions. Of course, I'm excited to see a whole new swath of Pokemon to add to the national dex, with the 3 starters strongly grabbing my attention, but I don't want to see some of the doper Pokemon from past games just be forgotten and left in the dust. We don't know a lot about Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, but this year looks like a great one for Pokemon news. Stick around as we'll let you know right away as we learn more about Pokemon in Gen 9. In the meantime, check out our videos on Legends Arceus or Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. Until next time.